It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another live episode of the Mike Prince Show here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Special treat here for you on today. We are going to be covering Swac Volleyball. Got some coaches lined up. We'll have a little preseason look for the fall Swac Volleyball season. We'll hear from the likes of Gabrielle Floyd of Texas Southern. We'll hear from Rose Powell of Alabama A&M. We'll hear from Melissa Robinson of Alcorn State, Chelsea Lucas of University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Jackson State's very own Rose Washington. Got a full action-packed show scheduled for you on today, coming through the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline. And without any further delay, we might as well go ahead and jump right into today's episode. Good morning to you, wherever you may be listening from. Hope that all is well with you and your loved ones. Mike Prince here with you as we try to bring you some news that you could use each and every day throughout the world of local high school and collegiate athletics, with some emphasis on the world of HBCU sports. We'll have a very special episode on today. I want to give you a quick update on Olympic information. USA women's softball lost to Japan, so they end up taking the silver medal, and Japan was able to withstand the U.S. attack, and they go away with the gold. On last night's episode, USA defeats China, gold medalist from the last Olympics, so USA looking strong in that aspect. And speaking of volleyball, of course, we'll be talking to volleyball coaches throughout. A little programming note, we had Penny Lucas-White scheduled to be on board with us on today, but we're going to have to do a special episode with her. She had some scheduling conflicts come up, kind of last-minute notice for us, but we were able to reconcile that. We want to thank her for helping us get this episode together on the Swac Volleyball coverage. I need to take a break. And when we come back, we'll have a little bit more information to share with you and get into our coverage here from the Open Mic Broadcast Network, featuring the volleyball episodes from the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Always something good to look forward to. And we are going to, let's say, sit back, enjoy the ride, and hold on tight. I need you to hold on and be right back with more of today's episode. Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile. Whether it's a small dent or a major accident, if your vehicle needs auto body repair, check out Reflections Paint and Body Shop. All repairs are completed by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. That number again, 936-931-5780. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics. And welcome back to the special edition of the Mike Prince Show. Volleyball coverage here, 2021. Of course, we had some spring coverage, and we give congratulations to Jackson State for representing the conference in the NCAA tournament. We'll hear from Rose Washington a little bit later on in today's scheduled episode. The way this thing was set up, this is, of course, not a mandate from the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We have been covering softball for not softball, softball as well, but volleyball for quite some time, and we wanted to extend the opportunity for the coaches to highlight their programs and some players and get to know them a little bit better. So this is all volunteer. The invitation was sent to all coaches involved, including the Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, but due to scheduling conflicts or just plain I didn't want to do it, we have what we have, and we'll roll with what we want to roll with. But we are excited to have those that were willing to be involved with today's episode, and we look forward to doing more things like this in the very near future, because we are about the conference. We're all about our student athletes, no matter of the institution that they represent, because it is all about a family affair. And speaking of a family affair, our first coach that we'll hear from on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline will be coming by the way of the Texas Southern Tigers. Ms. Gabrielle Floyd will be our first coach that we'll hear from on today. She will break down some of the, let's say, the growing pains and the position of change from being the assistant coach to the head coach, talk about some of the non-conference schedule that they have coming up and some of the highlighted players. So what we'll do right now, we'll switch on over and hear from Miss Gabrielle Floyd, I almost said Lewis, but Gabrielle Floyd of the Texas Southern Tigers. She'll be our first guest, and then we'll go from there with the rest of our programming. So sit back and relax and let the games begin. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our special coverage of Swac Volleyball Media Day here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, as we go to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline, and we're going down the road to the ladies of maroon and gray, and we'll have on the line with us right now head volleyball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers, none other than Miss Gabrielle Floyd. How you doing today, ma'am?
I am wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Glad to hear that you're doing well as you're making preparations for this Fall 21 campaign. A quick turnaround from what you had in the spring. How has that helped or hurt you in your preparations for this fall coming right off that spring?
Well, it was definitely a different time. And just COVID season in itself, I think just, kind of raised everybody's awareness, helped people to reprioritize life, period. and things like that. And also for me, just looking at the squad and what we need to do moving forward, I think it helped give me a little bit better perspective just for, just trying to change the team and change where we're going. So, I think when it comes to recruiting, that was a little bit different because we were basically recruiting off of film and things like that. So at the end of the day, you're hoping for the best. But so far, it seems like we have a good crop coming in, and they are excited about everything. And, we're just trying to change it up, get things going, have everybody excited, and, get it flowing for this next season.
Well, you had a unique situation. This was your first time at the helm, and then you had a short season, and now you're coming right back off the season. And as they say, you got baptized with the fire real quick. What did you learn about yourself as you take on this new role as the head coach?
There is a difference when you move that one chair over. And, just learning more on the administrative side, but also just about myself and coaching style and things like that. I know how I am typically, and, just becoming a little bit more strict and just kind of getting straight to it. I had a lot more leniency through COVID season, but, now that that's kind of, we're trying to wrap it up, with this Delta variant coming out. But, I'm getting ready to have to lay down the law again, so they're going to see me, the true athlete / coach. And plus, I'll keep a smile on my face, but, we got some things to do. So it's going to be a different day for what our young ladies see this season.
We're talking right now with Gabrielle Floyd, head volleyball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers, on our SWAC Media volleyball coverage here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, when you talk about transitioning over from scooting from the assistant's chair to the head coach chair, as an assistant coach, you almost have to be the ear of some of the players. And did you find it hard transitioning from being to ear to being the one that now that they're venting against now that you're in that top chair?
It is crazy how that kind of thing happens. But for the most part, I think some of the relationships that I had built previously with some of the student athletes that maintained. So I was really glad to see that because I know sometimes people start getting nervous like, ooh, I don't know if I could talk to the head coach. But at the end of the day, I'm still who I am, and I'm still always available for them, whatever it is that they're going through. So most of the young ladies would still feel very comfortable talking to me. But then there were a few that kind of seemed like they got nervous. But, I had other coaches that were available to them as well. So, that's always important for them to have that outlet. But I felt like I didn't lose very much on that end.
Okay, very good. Now let's talk about some of the players you've been able to recruit. You talked about that earlier. So bring us up to speed of what your roster is going to look like for this fall campaign.
Bringing in 3 freshmen and 1 junior transfer. The transfer is from Lawson State Community College in Alabama. And then I have freshmen, 1 from Houston, 1 from Killeen, and then another 1 from San Antonio.
Okay, and with those players coming in, do you find it like in other sports that the transfer portal has been full of young ladies that would possibly fit your program, or is not as much when it comes to volleyball?
Well, I mean, there are plenty of athletes that could potentially fit, but I think with a lot of them this past season, it was timing that kind of hurt a lot of them because some of them got in the portal really late, and at that point, we were no longer looking for that position and things like that, or else, when you're reaching out to them, they're, waiting till the last minute to make a decision. And, schools have to move because they're trying to solidify their rosters. So I think a lot of the young ladies kind of got caught up in that, just trying to find that best fit and just kind of taking a long time to do so. But I think the athletes are out there and they've been available.
Okay, and with that, it's going to always make it tougher and tougher. Especially with speaking with other coaches throughout the country, how the kids who are getting the short end of the stick right now are those graduating seniors, and in some cases, some JUCO transfers.
Yes, and I think just also with people being able to hold on to some of their student athletes for an additional year, made it kind of tough for some of the people that's graduating and the transfers as well.
Okay, but, once again with go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, there's still a place, for pretty much everybody. It's just a matter of actually finding that perfect fit.
Okay, once again, we're talking with Coach Gabrielle Floyd of the Texas Southern Tigers, getting ready for the Fall 21 campaign for volleyball. Just like everything else, it's been a short turnaround. Now, Coach, with your non-conference schedule, are you able to break down who some of your non-conference opponents will be as you head toward conference play?
Okay, so we'll be going to tournaments like at Nickel State. We have Abilene Christian. We'll be going to UT Rio Grande Valley, and then also a tournament in Arizona, University of Arizona. And so
okay.
They're still solidifying some of our actual playing times and things like that for some of the tournaments, but we are definitely looking forward to our travel.
Now, will you have some games that you'll actually, or should I say matches, that you'll be hosting on your campus?
Well, our gym is in the process of getting fixed right now, so any matches that we play prior to it being completed will be at our rec center very likely. But we do plan to host Tarleton State this September. But other than that, most of our games will be away until we start conference.
Okay, now a lot of people don't realize they put a lot of hype in football camps opening up, but the volleyball camps open up a little bit sooner than football camps, right? When are you guys scheduled to open up your camps?
We start, the move-in is August 9th. We begin August 10th, but our first match officially is August 27th.
August 27th, and you'll be taking on who on August 27th?
And that's when we go to Nickel State tournament.
Okay, and with the Nickel State tournament. Now, how many other tournament or teams are selected to be in that tournament? Do you know that right off the top?
We'll have 3 matches. Normally our tournaments, we play 3 matches each.
Okay, and in times past, they've had the SWAC roundups, and I've always thought those were very fascinating. As a matter of fact, last one we were at was the one at Prairie View. What are the East and West roundups going to be like this year? Where will they be held? Do you know that?
So we kind of broke it up a little bit. We're doing clusters. They're calling them clusters this season. But just splitting up the conference, 6 teams each will be going to different locations. So like for Texas Southern, our first cluster will be at Jackson State. And then our second cluster will be at Grambling State. And so, just trying to be able to give everybody a good opportunity to play each other without, having to load all the games into, a weekend and things like that. So we're just trying to find a way to kind of make it easier on our young ladies' bodies and then still be able to get all the competition that we can in.
Okay, now when you say the clusters, will they be broken up between East and West, or will they just pair them off? How did they determine how the clusters will be?
Yeah, the East is still playing the West. So I'll just say, like, for Cluster 1 at Jackson State, it'll be Texas Southern, of course, Jackson State, Grambling State, Mississippi Valley, UAPB, and Alabama A&M. And so on the other side, all the additional teams, they'll be at FAMU that first cluster. And so the second round, they mix the teams up a little bit. So on our side, we'll be at Jackson State or whatever, but then the other cluster will be at Southern University.
Okay. Now, do you know the dates for those cluster matches will be?
Yes, October 9th and 10th for the first cluster. And then for the second cluster is at the end of October 30th and 31st. And then one of the clusters, because they had the right to change the dates if it was more convenient, so they have October 31st through November 1st.
Okay, sounds like a plan. And with the addition of Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, is going to even add more drama to the volleyball season. Now, a lot of people that are not familiar with what FAM and Bethune bring to the table, Brittany Williams, who has a lot of Houston ties and has been able to, let's say, steal some Texas athletes, she's coming in with some pretty good notoriety amongst some of your SWAC counterparts, right?
Yes, and actually both teams, like in the past, we have played them in tournaments and things like that. So, I think the SWAC is still pretty familiar with each of the schools. It will definitely help to raise the level of competition and things like that. So everybody's really excited about it, and, it's just going to make us even more competitive which is what we've been, trying to continue to do over the years anyway. So everybody's kind of looking forward to this.
Absolutely. And one of the things that has been anticipation, whether it's volleyball, baseball, basketball, is to advance in that NCAA tournament with that regional play. And that's the goal, right, is looking a little bit beyond the SWAC.
Yes. And I think that's partially why we try to set up our preseason the way we do, to make sure that we are looking at some of those teams that might have lower RPIs, because, you have to get used to competing against those types of teams, because when you do advance, that's more of what you're going to see, the faster game, the taller young ladies, things like that. So it helps to be more prepared for those matches versus, just constantly staying within your conference, and you got to see different competition, see how volleyball is played on different levels, and, continue to increase your game and make your game better.
Okay. Now, Coach, I need you to look into your crystal ball for us, if you could. Mm-hmm. And if you could pick one player who's going to shock the SWAC nation, who would that player be and why?
That is a really good question. Well, I'm always going to look to my team first, so.
Of course. We're talking about from your team. We're talking about from your team.
Let's see. We'll try to keep it fair across the board, but I'm always partial to my school. I think right now, just looking at some of the dedication and the time that they've been putting in and things like that, it's kind of hard to say one, because I want to say my setter and I wanted to say one of my hitters.
If it's multiple, go ahead and call them out.
All right. I'm going to say Eris Ramsey, just with her dedication to the game. She's so passionate about it, always wanting to win and do well, and then just trying to help make her hitters better and things like that. And then if I had to give it to one of my hitters right now, I would probably go with Jada Hall. She'll be a senior this year as well. Both of them will be seniors. But like I said, just individuals that are extremely athletic, committed to the game, committed to the process, and just kind of expecting great things.
Okay, sounds like a plan, and I know you're expecting great things. Would this be officially considered your second season, or would it still be considered season one?
I'm going to go with season one. COVID season didn't fully count, so that's how I'm looking at it. Or maybe let's say 1.5. How about that?
Okay, 1.5. How about that? We'll go 1.5. So it'll be Volleyball 2.0 because of the 2021 campaign, spring and now the fall. But we are going to wish you the best of luck this season. And, Coach, we want to thank you for joining in with us, and we want to give you an opportunity now to have some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours.
I appreciate it so much. Like I said, we just looking for our supporters to come back out now that, we are allowed to have more fans and things like that coming to matches. We do have a campaign out there, helping to fundraise and things like that. So look us up on the website. Our schedule is available as well. And just come out to all the matches that you can and support our young ladies. We would be greatly appreciative.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, Miss Gabrielle Floyd, head volleyball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers, the maroon and gray Tigers from down the road. We're going to take us a break, and we'll be back with more of our SWAC Media Day coverage for volleyball right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it right where you got it, and we'll be right back.
Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
Hello, this is Alonzo Hardy Jr., the president of the Swac Alumni Association. The Swac Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999, at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and Roast Banquet or luncheon where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Prophet Wackenmaster Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at SWAC universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the SWAC Alumni Association or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to SWAC Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is swacalumuniassociation@yahoo.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show live edition SWAC volleyball coverage. We heard from Miss Gabrielle Floyd of Texas Southern talking about the maroon and gray Tigers and how they're getting things set up and ready to go. And we are truly, truly excited about this opportunity to highlight the young ladies of the Southwestern Athletic Conference and their coaches here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. What we're going to do now is we're going to head to Lorman, Mississippi, as they say, down in the country. They say way down in the country. And we are so excited to have on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with us right now none other than Miss Melissa Robinson. Ma'am, how you doing? And welcome to the show.
I'm good. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It is a good morning. And you know what? It was even a better night last night. I'm pretty sure if you didn't get a chance to watch, but you saw how the USA was able to handle China in volleyball. Did you not get a chance to see that?
Absolutely. Oh, I watched it. They handled them last night.
They say handle them and handle them quite well. So things are looking up right now, just like things are looking up now at Brave Nation with you and the volleyball program. But before we get into that, how about introducing yourself to our listeners and presenting yourself to others?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say, excuse my voice because I'm in camps all week. So my voice is a little bit gone, but I'm going to give y'all the best I got. But I'm Melissa Robinson. I'm the head volleyball coach at Alcorn State. I've been there for the past 2 years, and, you know, we're really trying to change our program and you know, continue to make it a great one. So yeah.
Well, you're no stranger to success. You were at Auburn and Montgomery, Tuskegee, and you were able to do some great things. As a matter of fact, you came behind a legend at Tuskegee, so you had some huge shoes to fill in that aspect. But explain what that process was like, and how do you get the buy-in when you follow behind a legacy like that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you have to make sure you have a vision. You know, whatever your vision is for that program, you got to go at it every single day, every day of the week, and just have the girls buy in. By every time they come in the gym, you give 100%. Doesn't matter, you know, how bad you're feeling that day or how good you're feeling. If you can give 100% of your time and your effort within that time period, everything else follow. So, you know, I preach a lot of that and every day. You know, you want to get in the gym and outside of the gym in the classroom, and you want to make sure that you're growing and be better than you were yesterday, even if it's a small amount. But you just definitely want to make sure that you grow. So if we're growing, then that means we're going to be better people at the end of it.
Absolutely. Now, when you talk about the growth, and you made the mention on and off the court, there are so many aspects that when a student athlete is transitioning, especially if you're talking about a freshman who's never been away from home, who's never got accustomed to the college lifestyle, because it's a little different when mom and dad is not saying, hey, you got to get up, when you got to be responsible, getting up for the early AM sessions, getting ready for your classes, getting ready for the preparation on the road. When you are recruiting a young lady, what are some of the things that you try to give them insights on besides the obvious? You know, everybody's excited about being able to say, I'm in a Division I program, but what are some of the things that you try to sell them to let them know that it's a little bit more grind to this thing than what looks on the surface?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm very honest and transparent from the beginning. You know, everything isn't what it seems. You know, you see the success all the time, but you don't see what happens in the, which is you have to grind every single day when you get in there. You know, it's not just about, okay, I got the scholarship. That's not the piece. You have to make sure that every day and day out, you prove you earned that scholarship, and you ask for help, and you nag at it, and you get in the gym extra hours, and you push so that you can be that top tier, you know, player for your conference or for the NCAA or whatever that case may be. And it's the same thing in the classroom. How to push and get those academics where they're supposed to be, and, you know, push through and make sure you're doing your work. But time management, that's the biggest part of it all. You know, you can be stretched so thin as an athlete. You have to make sure that, you know, you compartmentalize all the tasks that you have to do, but also making sure that you keep yourself in mind. You know, you want to make sure that your mental health is where it should be. You can't stress yourself out so much.
We're talking right now on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with Melissa Robinson of the Alcorn State Braves. Now, it's no secret that you inherited a program that's, let's have some challenges. And when you come into a program like that, what's the hardest sell?
I think for me, the hardest sell is, you know, for one, the buy-in that we talked earlier, and, you know, trying to change the culture a little bit. You know, right now we're in a position where our culture is really changing, and it's changing for the greater. We're more competitive. We're more involved in the community. We're really pushing, like I said, to get better every single day and going out and competing. I think those things sometimes, you know, can be challenging to explain to athletes because, you know, when you're in the recruiting process, they want to see the glitz and the glamour. But the real, you know, the real things are, you know, those intangibles, the attitudes in the program and the effort in the program, the communication in the program. Those things help build the program to what it's going to be.
Now, when you talk about changing the culture, and that's a pretty strong buzzword right now, what exactly does that mean when you talk about changing the culture? Change the culture from what to what?
So, you know, of course, each coach has their own philosophy about what they want their team to do and be. But I think once you get a group of girls or a group of women, that have the same goal in mind, and everyone is 100% in and cooperate to get to that goal, that's what we need. And so, you know, when you're recruiting athletes, you're kind of looking at those things and say, hey, can this person fit into what we're trying to grow here? And you can see that in the intangibles. So if I'm recruiting and I see a kid who, you know, is a great talented athlete, but when her coach tells her something, she hangs her head. To me, that speaks volumes of the kid. You know, you want to make sure that you have that kid that can take that constructive criticism and go out and turn it on the court.
Okay.
So it's the smaller things that matter, you know, to help build a bigger culture and a more cohesive culture, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes plenty of sense. I just, I'm a simple guy, and I heard you say the girls. You can call them girls. I can't call them girls. You can call them girls. You can call them kids. I have to call them young ladies or women because, like I said, I do not want to get jumped on. And when you talk about this culture and being able to take constructive criticism, and sometime as a coach, especially in the 21st century coach-student-athlete relationship, you have to be careful on how you do that constructive criticism right now today too, huh?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is, as coaches, we have to make sure that although our needs may be to win and build that culture, the student athlete has needs too. And they have to be nurtured and they have to be taken care of. And, it goes back to that big mental health piece. You don't want to push anybody over the edge, but you also want them to have that environment where they feel safe and they, be able to express how they feel and work through the challenges. And I think communication plays a big role in that.
Okay, does that make the job sometimes a little bit more stressful than what it used to be?
I wouldn't say stressful. I would say, I think it's us coaches have to dig a little bit deeper. It's not just about winning all the time, although we'd like to get there. There are things that you have to do in order to get to that win, and that's one of them. Us coaches, we wear many hats. We can be a counselor one day and we can be the hardest coach in America the next day, but then we can make sure that when you come into the office and just need somebody to just talk to outside of family, we're there. So I think it creates balance within that program.
Okay, very good. Now, if you can, let's break down your roster, some that you have and some that you've added to your program for this 2021 fall season.
Okay. So we have 14 girls on our squad this upcoming year. 11 of them are returning. We actually have Mackenzie Young Mullins. She got Newcomer of the Year. I think it was Newcomer. Yep, it's Newcomer of the Year. And she did really well. Was an outside hitter. She came to us from South Carolina Upstate, and she came right in and really established herself within our offense. We did graduate, 3 girls, and they're off and they're in their jobs, and then we have one that's an assistant now at a local college in Texas. And then we're bringing back both of our liberos. They really worked hard for us. Couple, player of the weeks opportunities, and then we have a nice number, even though it's a small number of kids coming in, 3 women coming in. Those 3 women are going to definitely help impact us, being, from our offensive standpoint. So we're making some changes. Big changes, but changes that's going to help us be successful coming in. And then we have our freshmen from last year, Maria Phillips and Michaela Wardlaw. They're coming back and they're coming in stronger and ready to play as well. So we're well-rounded. We're ready to get after it and get in the gym.
Okay. Now, I know all positions are critical and all have their purpose for the success of the overall program. But if you had to pick one position that's just absolutely critical for you to have success, which position would that be and why?
So I think I'm a little biased to this question because I played this position in college. But I think the libero is always the silent person on the court. And when I say silent, I don't mean vocally. I mean, everybody always says defense wins games. And I think a lot of times people and coaches take their liberos for granted. But those are the people who actually win the games for you. You can go up and swing and score points, get kills all day. Your still works hard, so she's a big contributing factor as well because she's determining that offense for you. But that libero is very crucial to any team, and you have to have a leader in that role.
Absolutely. Well, not only are they critical, and that just lets me know that you are a defensive-oriented person because that libero does play a critical role, the digs, and most of the times they are pretty good servers as well. So
Absolutely.
They can help set up the offense by way of their defense and leadership on the court. So I'm intrigued that you said that, and I don't think that's for being biased. My daughter was a libero, so I feel 100% on that. Hey, without the libero, and you know what? You get to wear the opposite color jerseys. You get to stand out anyway, right? So
absolutely, right?
So it's all good. It's all good. We're talking right now with Melissa Robinson of the Alcorn State Lady Braves as she is breaking down the look of the Braves as they get ready for the 2021 fall campaign, which will be season 2.0 for 2021 because of the spring season. Now, you had the spring season, wasn't quite what you thought that it should have been, but what did you gain from that, and how does it prepare you for now?
I think it showed the depth of my team to be able to be off for so long and be able to come in and at least compete at a level where they were not as in the best shape that they could have been, but they gave me everything they had. And, of course, everyone their challenges when you're off so long and, just trying to fight the feeling of loving the game again and kind of getting back to it. But I can definitely say I saw a lot of fight in my team. And so it transferred over to, as we're preparing for this season, the girls have, worked out all summer long to be prepared for this moment, this upcoming fall. I think, of course, the spring was very different, playing in the spring, and they loved it. But I think it kind of helped them kind of jumpstart to be ready and be in full effect for this fall. So I think that was one of the best things that came out of us having the spring season.
Okay. Now, as we look into the fall, can you break down your non-conference schedule and what it looks like?
Okay, yeah. So our first tournament, we're actually going to be at the University of New Orleans, where we'll play Tennessee State along with Texas Rio Grande, and there's another school in there. It's just us, so in New Orleans. And then after that, the second weekend, we go to Belmont University in Tennessee, in Nashville, where they're co-hosting with Middle Tennessee. So we'll play both of those teams along with North Alabama and Indiana State. And so our third weekend, we'll play at Georgia State in Atlanta, where we'll be able to play is Georgia State. Ooh, I'm drawing a blank, but it's a couple teams that are really going to be good. Stetson's in that from Florida in that tournament, along with some other teams, and then we'll play one local game with Tougaloo College in Jackson.
Okay, so you'll go and play against Tougaloo, and you won't have any actual home court matches that you'll be hosting, though, during that non-conference deal.
Yeah, during the non-conference, we will not.
Okay, sounds good enough. And now I asked my coaches this, and I want you to look within your team, your program, and I need you to look into your crystal ball and give us who is going to be a player that's going to shock the conference and have an outstanding year for you this year. And if it's more than one, then you can go ahead and go more than one.
Okay, wow, that's a loaded question. Okay, so I think, honestly, I want to say all of them. I think all of them can compete at that level. I think that our incoming setter will be very crucial for us. And she's coming in with a lot of experience. And then I think the biggest impact probably is going to be on that libero role as well. It's that silent person that I talked about before. So I think we're going to be well this year, but I think those two positions for us are going to really shine some light.
Okay, so once again, you're leaning on those liberos, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Well, look, Coach, I want to say thank you, first of all, for joining us on our special episode on today. But you got to promise me that this won't be the last time that we hear from you. We'll get some roundups and some information throughout the course of your season here at the network.
Absolutely. I'm 100% always open. I got you guys.
Okay. Well, look, we have a tradition here where we give our guests some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours, ma'am, and let it rip.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing is, make sure you guys come out and support us. We're going to be continuously working. The opening of our season, our game debut will be in New Orleans on August 27th. So definitely come check us out, email us, call us. We want to know where you guys are in terms of recruiting, and then just support. Come out and support us, and we definitely make sure that we're always involved. So.
Okay, then. Well, look, I thank you again for joining in with us. Good luck to you on your upcoming season. And as they say on the reservation, go Braves, right?
That's right. Go Braves. Thank you so much.
All right. Miss Melissa Robinson of the Alcorn State Braves joining us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline, breaking down the who, what, when, wheres, and hows of Braves volleyball coming for 2021 here in the fall. You got to love the enthusiasm and the energy that is coming from the coaches that we've heard from thus far. That's why we do what we do, ladies and gentlemen, because they're working as hard just as any other program, and it's our duty and responsibility to make sure that we keep that light shining from each and every direction. We got to take us a break, and when we come back, we'll hear more of our coverage here for SWAC Media Day volleyball coverage here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am the radio guy, Mike Prince. Keep it right where you got it, and we will be right back.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference, also known as the SWAC, has become one of the leading sports associations in the world of collegiate athletics today. Founded in 1920 by C.H. Fuller, Red Randolph, C.H. Patterson, E.G. Evans, H.J. Evans, H.J. Starnes, D.C. Fuller, and G. Whit Jordan, the SWAC's charter class, the Super Six, kicked off with Bishop College, Paul Quinn College, Prairie View A&M, Sam Houston College, Texas College, and Wiley College. The founders came up with the league during a general meeting to discuss common interests as a grand experiment for historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs. The SWAC's member schools experienced many difficulties in its early years due to the limitations of state funding, but the SWAC never stopped sponsoring competition among its members and student athletes. Though only one of the original members of the SWAC still remains, the SWAC continues to rise in prominence among the best in collegiate sports. The SWAC is one of only 2 Division I conferences whose current membership is made up of 100% HBCUs. Its current members include the last remaining charter member, Prairie View A&M, and others like Southern University, Texas Southern University, Grambling State University, Jackson State University, Alcorn State University, Mississippi Valley State University, Alabama State University, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and Alabama A&M University. As the SWAC continues to grow in prominence, so does its membership. At the start of the 2021-2022 academic school year, Florida A&M University and Bethune-Cookman University will join the SWAC as its 11th and 12th official members. Championship competition offered by the league currently includes men's competition in baseball, basketball, cross country, football, golf, tennis, and indoor and outdoor track and field. Women's competition is also offered in basketball, bowling, cross country, golf, indoor and outdoor track and field, soccer, softball, tennis, and volleyball. The SWAC continues to solidify its status among elite collegiate competition with notable NCAA tournament appearances in multiple sports. The SWAC is considered one of the premier HBCU conferences in the country and currently ranks among the elite in the nation in terms of HBCU alumni playing with professional sports teams. Notable professional HBCU and SWAC alumni athletes include Walter Payton, Jackie Slater, Jerry Rice, John Stallworth, Steve McNair, Michael Strahan, Titus Howard, Kadero Hodge, and many more. The Southwestern Athletic Conference will continue to produce some of the best student athletes to ever touch a field of play. Just as the mission statement states, the Southwestern Athletic Conference is organized for the purpose of encouraging and conducting intercollegiate sport activities for student athletes and promoting academic excellence while representing SWAC member institutions with a high level of integrity and sportsmanship. I've been Morgan Hendricks for the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile. Whether it's a small dent or a major accident, if your vehicle needs auto body repair, check out Reflections Paint and Body Shop. All repairs are completed by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. That number again, 936-931-5780. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are rolling right along. Dr. Mike Prince here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network and our special episode of volleyball coverage here from the conference. And we are going to keep things rolling right along on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. We've been fortunate enough to hear from Melissa Robinson of Alcorn. We've heard from Miss Gabrielle Floyd of Texas Southern. Now we're going to one of the veteran leaderships, one of the matriarchs of Swac Volleyball. She needs no introduction, but I might as well do the best that I can while I can. This woman is an Olympian. And I guess she'll always be an Olympian, whether what year it was or not, but she was an Olympian, and she is excited to see what's going on now with the Olympics that are taking place with the United States defeating China. But she represents the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, and that is none other than Miss Rose Powell. How you doing this morning, ma'am?
I am so blessed, and thank you for having me on today.
Well, thank you for gracing us to be on today, because we can't get this done without you guys' participation. As we explained at the top of the show, this was not a mandate by the conference. This was something that we want to do, and we've been trying to do stuff for volleyball for quite some time now, and we want to stay consistent with it, because we know we get excited about football, we get excited about basketball, but you all work just as hard as any other athletic program on these campuses, and you deserve some love too.
Yes, we do. And the other programs and stuff, football, basketball, we love watching them and having them do the things that they do. It helps us be the people that we are too.
Yes, ma'am. Now, we made mention that you are an Olympian, and it's got to be special watching the Olympics as they roll around every 4 years, in this case, every 5 years. But you go ahead and you get a chance to see these young ladies, but you're able to kind of share some of the things that these Olympic athletes have, and you get to represent the entire nation. What is that like when you are knowing that, hey, despite what's going on and we have our problems, we have our challenges as a nation, but I represent all of us? What is that like to know that you're doing that?
It is such a blessing to step out onto the floor and represent this flag for the USA and represent USA, and everything is really, really great. And then just knowing you're one of the best in the country, and you see these athletes, they come in and they have all worked so hard for many, many years for this one moment, for this 10 days. They have 10 days to prove themselves, whether it be a gold, a silver, or bronze, or don't medal at all. But yet they are still considered the best in their area, in their country, and just they want to represent their country to the best of their ability.
Yes, ma'am. And when you get a chance to do that, that's something that will follow you for the rest of your days. As you say, whether you medaled or not, you were good enough to qualify to represent the entire nation. And to know that you have that opportunity, it speaks volumes. And with your experience from as a player, as a coach, and we're going to talk about this right now, I guess we might as well. You have, from my understanding, ma'am, one of the most let's say, well-rounded complexes, not just in the state of Alabama, but in the nation when it comes to volleyball. Tell us about that.
Just being, the Olympics gave me so much, and the USA Volleyball program itself, they have just really welcomed us whenever we got playing, and I try to do a lot, not only for the Alabama area, but it just came from French Lick, Indiana, doing camp and stuff there, and that is the home of Larry Bird. And so I just try to make sure I continue to spread knowledge, give girls the power. Here at Rocket City in Huntsville, we have a thing called Girl Power. And it is, Girl Power starts with Rose Powell. But it's just giving the young kids here in Huntsville and other places that I go to do camps and clinics an opportunity to let them know that as long as you work, you put in time, there is no limits. I was blessed that I was able to be an Olympian and play at D1 school. But no matter what level it is, again, you represent to the best of your ability, just like winning. Winning, you win at the highest level that you can win at, whether it be Division I, whether it be Division II, III, NAIA, or junior college, even at the high school level. You try to win at the highest level you can win at.
Now, when you put the emphasis on doing the best that you can wherever you are, it's no secret that part of that monster hump for SWAC programs to advance in regional play, what do you think that missing element is for the HBCU programs and the smaller mid-major programs to advance in that NCAA tournament?
I think that sometimes it be resources, just making sure we can get the top players and being able to put a good product on the floor, which right now I do believe that the SWAC and the other HBCU schools are getting more things. And I think over the next couple of years, I think they're going to be able to step in and surprise some teams eventually. And, that is all of our goals as coaches, is to get to that NC2A tournament and take a match off of some of the bigger schools and stuff like that. We all have that aspiration to do that. It just takes time to get it done. But I think as our resources and our football teams and stuff are doing much better, doing greater things, we're going to benefit from those things also.
Absolutely. We're talking on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with Rose Powell, head volleyball coach of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Now, it's no secret, no surprise that you, along with Alabama State, decided to take a hiatus for the spring. And it had to be a tough decision, but the ultimate decision was for the well-being of your student athletes. What was the process? And how did you go through breaking it down, to yourself that this is the direction you were going to, and then to your players, and then picking up the pieces to go from there?
Well, we had several players on the team that had parents that had the COVID virus. And some of the parents was very concerned because one of the parents said, Rose, I was knocking on the door. I'm like, what door was you knocking on? He said, hey. I said, well, he said, and it's tough out here. He said, this virus is not a joke. He says, and I don't want mine playing right now. So when we took it to the team and we explained, we could possibly be in and out all the time. And it's going to depend on you players sometimes to say, hey, I'm not going out to the club. I'm not doing this. I'm not going out and about, because it would affect us going back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were going back and forth. They were quarantined. Our basketball team was in quarantine, quite a bit. And so we just looked at the whole big picture and says, for our health, for our sanity, for our mental, this may be the best thing for us to step away this time and give the virus and give the health people, CDC, a chance to find something that can help us become better when we do get back on the floor.
Now, I know that had to be a difficult time watching your counterparts compete, going back. Were you able to pick up any insights as a coach, as a manager during that downtime, or was it just tough to focus, or some coaches wouldn't even look at the sport if they weren't going to be participating in it? Were you one of those?
Well, education always important to me, so I always try to, during this time, I tried to educate myself on other things and stuff like that, and still look at some of the matches that was being played, and sometimes wish that my team was there playing. Just doing the educational piece of it, I tried to do more on education and make sure and get my kids to do more on the educational side and watch the games and stuff that was being, so that we could still have that feeling and that want to, and that drive, that when we do step back out on the court, we are now ready to mentally and physically be ready to play this coming season.
Okay, now here's a question that I want to ask. Even though you were not competing, did you not have any practices at all, or did you just take and shut everything down? How did that work?
We shut everything down. We didn't do any practicing, nothing like that. We just, the kids would do some things on their own, but I was never involved with that. I own a gym, so they go up to A&M sometime and do stuff, but we didn't do anything. We just kind of took a break, mentally watched, they watched games on TV just to keep their eye and see what other people are doing. But we didn't do anything.
Okay. Now, do you see that as a disadvantage as you get ready to break open your camps?
Well, I do see it's a disadvantage of not playing for over a year and a half. But, sometimes mentally, kids may need a break. And I'm hoping that this break of a year and a half is going to keep them fired up enough to be ready to go whenever we step on the court August the 9th.
Okay. Once again, we're on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with Alabama A&M legendary coach, Miss... Oh, man, my little device was talking to me. I'm sorry. Coach Rose... Lord, forgive me, Coach. I'm having a brain freeze moment here. My device got to talking to me about my time. I'm sorry, Coach. Coach, I'm stuck. Rose
Powell.
I'm sorry, man. Forgive me. I'm trying to multitask, but with all that's going on right now, and the excitement going on, let's talk about the recruiting part of it. And was it hard for you to recruit players being inactive, and some of the players that you've added to the program now as you get ready for this fall campaign?
Yes, it was hard on the recruiting side of things because we couldn't go out. The NC2A didn't allow us out and about. So everything's on video, and hopefully the people that you had you bought in are someone that you've already looked at down the road or early on, and that they was going to fit into the program, coming up this year. And so a lot of the players I'd seen before, so therefore I was pretty comfortable bringing them in, even though I hadn't seen them do very much in the last year. But my older players that I have coming back, they are excited about getting back on the court. And that, I think, is going to drive us even more because of their excitement. We have Macy Battles, who was our defense specialist the year before, and Alana Cox, who was the freshman of the year whenever she came into the conference. So the leadership from those players being away from the game, I'm hoping that this and a half off is going to drive them even more, that they're going to be so excited about playing and getting back out on the floor that it'll be contagious to the new ones coming in, and that we'll just get on the court and things will start moving forward come August 9th.
Okay, now with the disadvantage of not being able to recruit, did it have you being one of those programs that kind of look toward the portal, because it seemed like the portal is part of that quick fix solution right now for keeping your programs as status quo? Did you lean toward the portal more, or did you rely more on the traditional recruiting?
I did more traditional recruiting. I have one that came in from the transfer portal, but I did traditional because for us in our conference, for me, growing a good group together is going to be huge down the road for us.
Okay, very good. Now, Coach, if you could, break down your non-conference schedule for us and some of the key matches you have scheduled.
We are going to SIU to play, and there we'll get a chance to see Oral Roberts. We'll get a chance to see, we go to UI in Bloomington, and we'll get a chance to play some good schools there, get a chance to play UI. Who else is on the schedule? I can't look at the moment.
I do understand. Look, I had a moment a while ago, so I won't call it age, because I'm not going to mess with neither one of our ages at this point. But we'll just put it on one of those moments. I do understand. But I'm hearing you like to have like that Midwestern mixture for your non-conference game. A lot of people are not aware that there's some pretty good volleyball up in those parts of the area, as well in the Colorado area. Is that by design that you have those set for that?
Well, I think when I was looking at the tournament schedule, SIU, I know the coach over there, Ed Allen. I know him, and he always puts on a good tournament for us and bring in some good teams that we have to play against so we can get ready for the SWAC. And then UI is new for us, but I felt like the distance-wise, we was trying not to get on the road and be out too far, with and stuff. So 5 or 6 hours out was good enough for us at this time. So that's what I kind of look for, this area in the north area, and they play great volleyball. So give my girls an opportunity, because my team is going to be young. Give my team an opportunity to play some of those teams that control the ball and keep the ball in control a lot. Give us an opportunity to see that and compete against some kids that, are very, very aggressive still.
Okay, now, Coach, I know that everyone has these players, and I've been asking all of my coaches thus far, you got to look into your crystal ball, and you got to give me a player or two who's coming in under the radar that's going to shock the conference this season on your program.
I think I got several kids that's coming in under the radar that will do great things when we get started. And I've got a kid out of Texas, and I've got some kids out of Detroit that's going to do some great things, I believe. Are you looking for a name?
I'm looking for a name, Coach. I want to be able to pencil it in so I can say, aha, there she is.
Well, I have Samari out of Texas, and I think she's going to, that's her last name. I think she's going to bring some excitement to the club, to the program. And Ron Tolbert, who is the daughter of Stacy Lovelace, who the WNBA.
Yes.
I think she's going to be under the radar. And let's see who else. Uh, India Rhodes out of Arizona. I think those kids are under the radar. I had seen them before, and I like what they were doing. I think that they're going to be able to bring quite a bit to the program. I've got quite a few that's going to be under the radar.
Okay. Coach, I know we're pressed for time right now, but I got to ask you this question before we get out of here. With the information and the history that you have with volleyball, there could be a young lady or a parent listening, and we know that select volleyball is the thing sweeping across the nation right now. What advice or encouragement would you give someone who might not be able to financially afford volleyball? What's some things they could do to hone in on their skills to hopefully play in college?
I think that, first of all, grades are important. I think a young lady has to make sure that their grades are first and foremost, because, everyone thinks that those scholarships is full scholarships and stuff, that all these programs are fully funded programs, and there's a lot of programs that's not fully funded. And therefore, that academic piece is huge for them. Now, I understand that they may be able to play the club volleyball and stuff like that, but I think that if they go in and have a conversation with some of the club directors, that they would get an opportunity to do something on getting on those teams and playing, where they come in and help with the younger age group kids, the rising stars, the kids, the what else do they call them? The toddler group, come in and work those types of things to help pay for their fee to play club ball, so that they can get seen by the colleges, so that they can be recruited. I think the parents and the players have to communicate more in their area if there's a club team there, that they just go in and have a conversation, talk to them, and I think those directors are willing to help.
Okay, that is some golden advice, and that's why I asked that question, because I know there are a lot of people who love this game, and this sport is growing leaps and bounds, and people are catching that wave, if you would. And I'm going to go out on a limb that I don't know, sooner or later, I can see the SWAC embracing men's volleyball, because the game is that much fun and that much powerful. Coach, I thank you so much for making yourself available with us on today, and I want to give you an opportunity to have some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours, ma'am.
Well, I thank you for having me on today, and just thinking about the SWAC coming up, I think everybody is excited about getting on the floor and having a full conference scheduled this year, and just continue to support us as young women and as young coaches, trying to secure a goal and sacrifice for young women and for coaches that are in this business. We love it. We are here, and go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs. Coach Rose Powell, I got it right that time. I had my moment have fled me for a minute, but thank you so much for joining us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. The Bulldogs been in the doghouse, if you would, for about 16 months or so, but they are ready to come back fully charged and ready to go, and we'll keep a tab with them and much more throughout the course of this season coming up in fall 2021. We got to take us a break, and we'll come back with more of our SWAC volleyball coverage here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We still got some more to hear from. We next get lined up Miss Chelsea Lucas from University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. You guys keep it right where you got it, and we will be right back. Oh, hold on. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Did you know since 1986, the Prairie View Athletic Club has been in full support of Prairie View athletics from football to tennis? The Prairie View Athletic Club has been there in the time of need. Did you also know that the Prairie View Athletic Club is open to all of those who will be interested in supporting Prairie View athletics? Do not have to be a former student athlete. You don't even have to be a graduate of Prairie View. If you are a community member at large and you would like to support the efforts of the Prairie View Athletic Club in support of Prairie View athletics, simply call 936-857-5817 and join today. The Prairie View Athletic Club, supporting Prairie View athletics since 1986. Call for more information right now. 936-857-5817.
We are the Swac. Our heritage lifts us to great heights because my history is forged by trailblazers. That motivates me today to focus on my future. We are the Swac. We are the new trailblazers. And this is my heritage.
Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Listen to The Mike Prince Show, weekdays on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
The voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show, live here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Swac Media Day volleyball coverage, and we have had a sweet load of guests come on. We just got off with Rose Powell of Alabama A&M. We are now going to the state of Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and we're going to hear from, oh man, I almost said it. Well, I might as well say it. It's the way I feel about it anyway. I'm going to dub them as co-champions of the spring season, none other than Coach Chelsea Lucas. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right. I hope you didn't mind me interjecting that, not trying to start no controversy, but I was on record for feeling the way that I felt, and I can't change it now anyway, right, if I wanted to.
Yeah, everyone is entitled to how they feel, but, I would say this is a new year. We are really doing some great things at University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and especially with my program. So I will say this, keep a lookout for us. We're busting our butt here. So, I appreciate you having, getting behind us and supporting us. So I just hope that you keep looking out to our program.
Oh, no doubt about it. I'm ball, hook, line, and sinker, and I love the sport. As I mentioned to a couple of the coaches, I had two daughters. One was a libero, other